London now has a higher murder rate than New York City. When will the libtards realize that banning weapons doesn't turn criminals into good people? This shirt from InvisibleHandFashion.com shows that gun control leaves the old and weak defenseless against anybody with a sharp object. Use the promo code SpaceGhost for 10% off your first order. A link is in the description.
Hello everybody, Terrence Popp here, Redonkulous.com. And I'm a little depressed. And they told me, hey, when you're depressed, you shouldn't be drinking. But hey, rules, they're made to be broken. This is something to help lift your spirits. In fact, I'm going to do it right now. This particular episode was a fan request. I've got about a half a dozen of them, and we're going to attack it right now. So if you're depressed, please go ahead and pour yourself the menagerie of alcohol, even though it's not advised. And I'll drink with you. Yeah. Everyone, I don't care who you are, sooner or later, you're gonna have to face depression. It happens to everybody. It can be caused by many, many different things, but I'm gonna boil it down into its key components. Physical, mental, or spiritual injury. It's just that simple. Shit always happens in threes, and Hollywood stars, they die in threes also. Not for nothing, but if you whiny pedophiles there in Hollywood would kick off just a little faster, I'd appreciate it, Screen 5. With all that aside, you've probably faced your own depression. In fact, I know I have. That's why I drink. I don't have a drinking problem, but I have problems, so I drink. It might sound like I'm rationalizing, and mainly because I am, fuck you, Space Ghost. But hey, when it comes to my whiskey, I'm happy to be irrational because it tastes so good. Some of these injuries can be huge. I took a TBI, got blown up in Iraq, had PTSD, came home to a divorce, yay, wah. But for most people, they're little tiny injuries, but like math, it adds the fuck up. And it becomes so monumental, it buries you. All it takes is one little bird landing in the wrong place, and the whole forest wiped out into oblivion. Can you imagine that? You don't have to do anything. Oh, shit! Or if you're on Tumblr, it's a bunch of microaggressions. Wah. Fuck off! I kid, you bunch of social justice warriors. No, I don't. You're a bunch of fucking cucks. I will be honest, the concept of the small microaggressions or the small injuries, in this instance, they do apply. Because depression, in your mind, it's a magnifying glass, and it turns those small injuries into mountains. They blow the fuck up, like my ex-wife, Screen 5. Hey, if any of my girls are watching this, I did prepay the swear jar, and I fucked your mother. That's how you got here, Space Ghost.
You see what he did there?
It's like you're the anorexic chick, and depression is the funhouse mirror that makes you look like a fat pig in your own mind. Depression is a fucked up prism. It takes speed bumps and turns them into goddamn mountains. Mountains, especially if you have to climb them, which I have, and it sucks. They're intimidating and they're scary as fuck. And especially in our culture, when a roadblock presents itself, they turn it into a castle which they cannot get through, and they procrastinate to high hell and never get it done.
I can just walk around it, but hey, that'll take hard work and more time, and I don't want to do that.
They look at these obstacles and they say, fuck it, I'm still gonna get my participation trophy, aren't I? Congratulations, you showed up to the first obstacle and you quit. And why? Because leftism has a stranglehold on our culture. And leftism rewards and idolizes victimhood. So if you can't jump over or go around that obstacle, it's not your fault because you're oppressed. Well, unless you're a white male, it's like, fuck you, no excuses for you, get the fuck over that wall. And we do it all the time. And the rest of you, you get head meds and you whine because the white guy can make it to the top. No one's making excuses for us. There is no safety net. You either do or you die.
You're fucking a white male!
And if you don't like that fact, too bad, because that is the real fucking world. So suck it hard, suck it long, and don't spit out what happens at the end unless you want to share it with your wife's boyfriend, Screen 5. Ha ha! Soy boy. Bottom line, these problems, they're probably real, but depression is creating the illusion that they're much bigger than they are. An ant It's just an ant. You can step on it in a second and it's gone. But depression turns that ant into a lion. You get divorced, you lose your wife and your kids, and suddenly your life becomes, honey, I shrunk the kids, and you're running for your goddamn life. I can demonstrate this right here and now. This shot glass, it's not that big, and I can hold it in my hand. But I know how you like butts. If I change your perspective, you just watch this. Holy shit, that shot glass is bigger than me. It's a 55-gallon drum. That is depression in a nutshell, and I think I'm gonna drink it because it looks so good.
The bro next door encapsulates the life of Chad. He is the pinnacle, the legend. He can do no wrong. Women want him, and men want to be him. His memoir is as absurd as his attitude. A link is in the description.
Listen, it's easy for me to point out to you, hey, it's just an illusion. You can fix it. That makes it sound like a flash in a pan or snap your fingers and fix it. It's not that easy. And how do I know? Because I fucking did it. It's an uphill battle, and it seems like it's lasting forever. 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. Fuck. And that 3 steps back, that's part of the illusion too. You just have to keep moving forward. If you have to take the head meds in the beginning, go ahead. There's no shame in that. I did. But when the doctor said,
Terrence, you're gonna have to stay on the head meds for the rest of your life,
I said, fuck that. Good Popp came forward and said, you know what? I'm not taking those fucking meds for the rest of my life because I'm so weak I can't rewire my own brain pan. I can fucking do it. It'll take a long time, but it can be done. And here I am today. I take a lot of supplements and shit because, hey, I'm getting old and getting old sucks. But I don't take the head meds unless you count this. And I love this. And my Spetsnaz doctor might be looking at this video and go,
Terrence, you know you're self-medicating.
And my answer to him would be, yes, I am. Space Ghost. I know you guys out there are like, Popp, what the fuck do you know? You're just a grunt. Yes, I am. And in all my travels, I learned a few basic truths, and here they are. Loop's loop, hook's hook, heat is hot, cold is cold, water is wet, and head meds and suicide keep going up. And if these head meds are supposed to keep me from self-inflicting my own mortal wound that takes me out of my meat suit, and they don't, why the fuck am I taking them?
Get that idiotic smile out of my face. I gotta go on a killing spree.
Would you actually pay a dealership for a car that has no wheels, doesn't steer, and has no engine? No! If it don't fit, you have to quit screen 5. Fuck that. For those of you out there where words just aren't enough, I have visual aids, and now it's time for story time. Here is your real problem. You lost your job. It sucks, but in the Trump economy, you can get another one. Whee! But, and I know you love it when I say but, because I'm going to show you a picture of a butt. When you take that image of that lost job and focus it through the lens of depression, it becomes huge. Gentlemen, stay with me here because I know this applies to many of you. Not only did you lose your job, but you were bullied by a supervisor or some dickhead in the copy room up until the point where you lost your job.
You've got your review coming up next week, and I can't wait to start checking me off some big fucking boxes.
And then you're gonna go home and tell your wife you lost your job. And she's gonna look at you and go,
I want a divorce because you're not the same man you are when I married you.
which we all know is bullshit because she married you for your money. We made a video about it called Chick Speak. Check it out. This situation, it creates a box in your own mind. And as long as you're contained within that box, you're never gonna see the solutions. But when you can step back and look at it objectively from the outside, not only do you see the objective truth, you see the patterns involved in this whole fucking situation. And once you realize those 2 basic things, you're like, hey, it's not that bad. I can navigate the fuck out of this area.
I know Kung Fu.
Once you put some distance between you and that job loss, you realize you didn't even like that job in the first place.
Shut the fuck up!
Not only were they not paying you enough at that job, they're working the shit out of you, your boss was a fucking turbo asshole, and you were completely unhappy. On top of that, you went home to this ungrateful slewer bitch who was never happy with anything that you did.
I want a divorce.
Divorce. I knew we had something in common. Here, sign these.
Now all of that is gone, and you know what you got back? You got time, and you got options. And guess what? Time? You don't get a refund on that, ever. It is the most precious asset we all have because you can't redeem it, you're not swapping it for anything else, and there's no do-overs. So use your time wisely and fight that grand illusion. How do we fight it, Pop? I'm gonna tell you. I fight it with a drink. It's not a universal prescription, but it's my technique. Listen, I'm just fucking with you guys. What I really do when I first started was flood my brain with endorphins, and I worked out like a motherfucker every day. So that is my universal prescription for you guys out there. Get off your ass and do something.
And not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you want to be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you.
You don't have to be good at it. You can go to the handball court, get into the tournament, come in dead last, and you still win because you showed up. It doesn't mean you're getting a trophy, but it means that at least you tried. Number 2, examine all of your problems individually. Do not let them group together and form the lens of depression. When you got a whole bunch of little problems, it's easy to be lazy, let them all coagulate into one huge Voltron problem. When you are depressed, these problems, they will feed on each other and they will magnify. When you can examine them individually, you can move on to the next step, number 3, which is divide and conquer. That is a basic military strategy throughout the eons of time that we've existed. And you want to know why? It fucking works! It's the KISS strategy, not the rock band. Keep it simple, stupid. I'm not going to tell you you're going to be successful 100% of the time. In fact, in the beginning, you're going to lose a majority of these battles. But if you stick to your game plan, you can win that war. Look at Vietnam. We played smear the queer on every engagement with that country. We defeated them hands down in body count and destruction and everything. But you know what? They played the long game and they won the war. Persistence, believing in yourself, and being an ornery son of a bitch, and living out of spite. It might make you an asshole, but in the long run, you'll win the fucking war. If you can embrace your inner asshole, kind of like Bad Pop did, you can actually root out the basic problem of this whole fucking thing. And it's not depression or the fact you lost your kids, your job, and your wife. It's defeatism. Because in our culture, it's real easy to go, oh, I'm the victim, wah. You might actually be a victim, and you will get some sympathy from this cold, black, dead heart. But don't you dare give up. It's easy to take the head meds and anchor yourself for the rest of your life in that black hole of depression, and it will never get any better. You can go on Facebook and you can whine and complain about your situation, and some people will give you some sympathy and a few words of encouragement, but that's not really gonna do you any good. And that right there, that social media fucking crybaby whoring, that's exactly what you shouldn't do, even though it's happening more often in our society every single day. Those people are accepting that defeatism and they're living in the black hole of the pain mind. And you want to know why? You're going to love this, so everyone pick up your shot glass. You like living there, you pathetic piles of shit. There is nothing instant about this. And if you want instant gratification, get a blowjob at the strip club. This is an uphill slog battle. There are no safety nets and you're doing it alone. And when you get to the top, you're going to be beaten to a bloody pulp. And if you can get out of that hole, you did it. You did it yourself. And just think of all of the great things you can do with the lessons you just learned. So when you get to the top, yell Drago. I'm not going to stop you. In fact, I will cheer you on and I will drink with you, brother. Or you can be like all of the other sheeple out there on the internet. You can just lay there in your quagmire of a dirty diaper of excuses and blame everyone else for your problems. What? Yeah, you can continue to take those head meds. Hell, you can take them forever and continue your spiral down into the black hole of depression. I do not fucking care. And you want to know why? You probably had some legitimate problems in the beginning. But when you embrace victimhood, you do it to yourself. Don't expect me to feel sorry for you because you're depressed. All I can do for you, and what this episode is about, is me showing you the door. But you have to turn the knob, and you have to walk through it, because you can take a horse to the water, but you can't make it drink. But hey, that's okay, I'll drink it for you. And for all you gentlemen out there drinking with me, I just want to thank you for being part of my therapy. Here's to ya. I'm going to be real with you, gentlemen. In the beginning, I was a depressed fucking asshole. Look at this dickhead. But 5 years later, you gentlemen, you helped me beat the beast of depression. No head meds, no excuses. Just a shitload of laughs, logic, and a whole world of booze. And if you want to help us restock this bar, check out the links below for Patreon, PayPal, and Maker support, because every little bit helps. And if YouTube keeps fucking with us, your help is the only help I'm gonna get. And if you're new to this channel, hit the subscribe button and the bell so you're notified when we make new videos. Because if you don't, you're gonna miss out and you're gonna wind up depressed. Only human beings can rot shit, siphon off the alcohol, age it in its own ashes, and it tastes good. Who's the twisted fucker came up with that? Like, I'll partially burn those, and then I'll rot them, and then I'll siphon off all the alcohol, then I'll age it in more ashes, and then we'll drink it, and it'll taste great. And it does.